of our student athletes, 7th and 8th grade boys basketball, cheerleaders, and members of the comms team. Before we get started, I would like to, first of all, thank a few people for their efforts tonight and across the season. First of all, to Todd Sweatman and Mark Schuttel, who were not able to be here tonight. Mr. Sweatman is assisting with the seed meeting that they anticipate to run about 2 or 3 hours for wrestling tonight over across town at JHS. But he and Mr. Schuttel this year was a great year for Turner basketball. We overcame some adversity earlier in the year, and I definitely think that made us better. Everybody stepped up, they didn't make excuses, and we found a way to get the job done. This year's team finished with an 18-6 record. Unfortunately, the season came to an end in a regional loss to the eventual state champion, Grant. If I had to sum up this year's team, I would honestly say it was the goofiest but most competitive team. I'll give you a quick example of why I feel that way. There was a game in Taylorville. Taylorville at the time was 18-2, #1 seed in the regional. It was their 8th grade night, and the place was packed. After the 7th grade game was over, I take the scorebook out to the table, and as the Taylorville cheerleaders are performing their dance routine to the song Ice Ice Baby, I noticed a lot of fans pointing over toward the corner where we come out of the locker room and laughing. I look over, and approximately 12 of our 14 players were dancing as best they could. And so that's the goofiest part. The competitive part was we ended up outplaying them and beat them by 6 points at their own place. Alright, what I'll go ahead and do is introduce each individual player. If I can have you guys go get your pens and letters, and if I can have you guys stand up, and then we'll go into the team awards. This first player was a hard-working young man with a great attitude, always conducted himself well on and off the court, Dakota Crowder. The next young man was a very scrappy player, one of our best defensive players, great hustle, and he understood his role off the bench, and he did a great job and was a huge part of our success. Richie Dennisville. This next young man started in all 24 games for us. He took over the role of point guard early in the season. Never complained, did a great job for us, Michael Fisher. This next young man was an outstanding all-around player. Offense, defense, he led the team in scoring, rebounding, and steals. Blake Haynes. This next young man improved tremendously throughout the season. I know he has more talent than he thinks he does. He led the team in field goal percentage. He continued to get better every day and became a very clutch player. Colin Jones. This next young man he's just an all-around outstanding young man. Student, player, great attitude, great work ethic, Wes Long. The next young man was by far the funniest player on the team. great job in his first year for us. Malik Green. The next young man was a great defensive player. He was a great defensive player for us, great all-around player. He usually guarded the other team's best players in every game and never complained and did a great job. Justin Renewal. The next young man is also a very hard worker. He gave 100%, whether it was in a 6 o'clock practice or the fourth quarter of a game. All right. Our next player was a great on-the-court leader. Led the team in assists, free throw percentage, and three-pointers made. Bryce Schaefer. The next young man started in all 24 games. He's a very intelligent player, worked hard, and very underrated. Josh Senior. The next young man, quite honestly, in the years that I've coached, has the closest thing to a perfect work ethic and attitude as any player I've ever seen. He's very competitive and more talent than he gives himself, has more talent than he gives himself credit for. Tyler Wilson. This next young player improved tremendously over the past 2 years at Turner. He's a great rebounder, has a great personality, and has come a long way. And prefers to go by the nickname Cat Daddy Jr. And last but certainly not least, this young man did a great job in whatever 100% of the say in these awards. And quite honestly, Coach Robertson and I were both in agreement with every one. The first player, again, led the team in field goal percentage and made a complete turnaround and was one of our key players at the end of the season and most consistent player.